Another late night comedy show. Mike Perkins and Paul Brodo. We're the house band with all the show. Tonight. Another late night podcast tonight.
With Mike Perkins.
Well, why don't we start talking about it? We're recording.
All right.
We are recording.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. It's another episode of another podcast tonight. We're still on. We're still on Zoom, so we're trying to be social distancing safe because there was an Amber Alert that went out this week that I think it's all of California now.
It's not an Amber Alert.
It's not an Amber Alert.
An Amber Alert means there's a missing child.
Yeah.
So there's not a missing kid with COVID in a van somewhere.
No.
Who's this kid named COVID and where did he go?
Where's this COVID kid? My name is Mike Perkins. With me, as always, my partner in crime, Mr. Paul Brodo.
Yeah. Hey, guys. How are we doing today? We're doing great. Let's do this again.
You had such energy with the COVID joke, and then you
decided
to.
No, we're just going to reel it back a little bit now.
And of course, as always, the best band in all of the world. Give it up for the show with Adam and Sean.
Yay! This is Sean.
Yeah, this is Adam.
And we got the super sexy, super clean machine, Mr. Ben Rawls, with us right now on the Zoom with us too.
Everybody, I missed you so much. I love you.
I know, I missed you too. You got that clean-shaven face, that luscious hair, as we talked about when we first seen you pop up.
Thanks, man.
Good,
I played a Disney Prince, and it was fun.
You are a Disney
Nice.
Prince.
Right on.
So tell us about that.
You look like you could be the guy in the Tangled movie.
That, yes, but I played Aladdin.
Hey.
On Sunday.
Hey.
It was fun.
Where did you do that?
North Burbank, little sound studio. It was like a little mic. It was just a fiance and a director and his fiance that wrote the scripts, pitched the clients. It was like an Amazon rug company. It was
And you were Aladdin
carpet.
flying on carpet. Putting it together.
That's
Put it together.
fantastic.
Basically, I don't
Whole
want to give
new
too
world.
much away. A whole new world. And then Jasmine turns you down because she's got a good rug already.
Oh man, I can't wait. You have to.
Hello.
I can't. You got to get your hands on this. You got to get a copy of this.
Yeah, it was all green screen. It was really
great.
cool.
Great.
It'll be fun.
I can't wait to see it. So it's going to be like Amazon commercials, right?
Oh, somewhere in there, selling a nice plush 5x7 rug.
It's awesome.
Excellent.
Hell yeah.
Made in China, baby.
Nice. It's not made in Arabia? Damn it.
Arabia.
Arabian nights like Arabian day.
But now I feel naked, so there's that too.
Ty, you looking good. I've been getting kind of grizzly myself. I'm trying to get up to Sean level. You guys can't see what we're talking about right now, but we're talking about the beards and mustaches of it all.
Oh, it's
All of us fairly look. Me, Adam, and Sean usually look like mountain men. Paul is always the beautiful, bright, blossoming face that he is. And now Mike's going to try to be in The Revenant too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to get revenge for Leo getting mauled by that bear. I'm trying to just get him back. I had a good week, man. I actually I did the Boston Comedy Festival last week.
right on.
Oh, shit.
And I made
Except
it
you didn't do it in Boston.
I didn't do it. Yeah, it was all virtual, which is great. But I watched The Town beforehand just to get in character.
Mike,
Did you rob a bank?
Yeah, I did. That's why I'm in lockdown right now. It's not actually my choosing. I'm just trying to lay low for a little bit.
Can you hear people laugh on those things?
Yeah, it was great. There was I actually made it to the semifinals, which was cool. Like, it's a whole week-long thing. So Tuesday,
but that just means you're. That's because you're good, Mike. But can you hear people audibly laughing to you?
Yeah, it was good. There was a ton of people in the Zoom room.
They have laughter ons and stuff. They have that on.
Yeah. I always.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's like the Zoom shows.
Encourage.
It encourages it. Yeah. It kind of becomes weird because like, I think that's why I always kept our show in the beginning. Like, cause like when Zoom first started, it was like people could just like log in and just pop on and like you hear like dogs barking, like Bugsy ruins a lot of my shows. But, you know, it's just like you always hear somebody in the background like, yep, still on. Yeah, no, it's two more comedians until Jennifer's up, you know, or whatever. And it's just like, it goes over your audio. So like for our talk show, like I kept it just like, it's just the performers we stream. So we don't get any of that feedback. But, and you do get feedback like that, but you do hear a lot of laughter too, which is cool.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
The semis though. You got to the semis.
I got to the semis, baby. I'm a semi-finalist at the.
How many people? How many people like were in this thing? Do you know?
I think there was 100 people. So there
was,
there was 9 preliminary rounds. So mine was on Tuesday, and I made it past that. And then there was, I think, 4 semifinal rounds. And then. My people that watched me, they said I got robbed, but the girl was good too, you know. There's only one person who was on from the semifinals, and but I was just happy to be a semifinalist because now it's a huge credit, you know, on my you know comedy resume.
Do you know how many people were like watching this? I'm just genuinely curious, like how many people were watching this show.
Clearly, like 3 or 4 million, right?
I think it was like America's Got Talent kind of number. So, yeah, I mean, my first preliminary round, I think I had maybe about 30 people in the room, and then probably the same amount for the other one too. So, I mean, every other round.
But those are real people.
They're real people.
Those are real people.
They're real people.
That's like a nice Yoo-hoo room.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a virtual Yoo-hoo room, if you will.
Speaking of what you were talking about, people ruining your takes. So I've been filming these. I've been doing this movie that I wrote, and I've been shooting it over the last couple of weeks. But I'm directing it, and I've written it, but I'm doing it this way. But I'm using all the actors, all the actresses are like junior high and high school kids, and their parents don't care at all that they're doing this. And so there'll be times where like their audio will come on and you'll just hear their mom in a phone call. And the kid will be like, "Mom, can you not?" And the mom will just be like, "I don't care what you're doing."
Mom, we're making art in here.
And she's like, "I don't care what you're doing. I don't care. This is my phone call. This is my house."
Oh my God.
And I have to be like, okay, can I talk to your mom? Like, that's so weird because then like their mom gets on the phone and gets on the screen and I'm like, "Hi." And she's like, "What do you do with my kid?" And I'm like, "I'm the teacher and I'm trying to do a directing. Hello. Nice to see you." Like, hello. Sorry, it's 7:00 at night and we're doing this. I'm sorry it's in your living room, but you know, we're trying.
We're doing our best here.
We're trying. Yeah.
At least the kids are getting the art that they so much deserve.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
That's a good way of putting it, I think. But like, I think that there's a really nice way of putting it. There is a.
That's
I told
such
the kids
a strange
today,
request.
It is. It's a very strange request, and it's a very odd thing where like the kids will have to go into the room and tell their whole family, be like, "Can you turn off the TV for the next 25 minutes?" And the mom and dad are like, "We have 3 other siblings." Like, no, is the answer to that. And so it's like very strange, and you just feel so like it's so awkward because they don't understand the art we're making, right? And like, how are they supposed to care? And so
these other siblings.
Odd thing, man. We got somewhat somber on one of the last episodes about the idea of like, you know, how we've improved ourselves over the last year or whatever. But like, I've been teaching this group of seniors in high school right now, and you can see the fatigue that has come upon them at this point. Like, you really can see it. We're just at the end of the first semester, and you know, they finished their junior year out like this, and now they're starting their senior year like this, right? And we can all sit back and go, "This has happened to everybody, so everybody gets to fuck off." But like, at the end of the day, like, for them, like this is their senior year. Your senior year is a very weird, special, weird slice of your life. It's a very, whether you had a great one or not, it's kind of theirs. It's a special place in your time. And this is theirs. And this is their weird moment that they're having. And so I told them, I just said, hey, you know, next semester, you have a real opportunity. And I really do believe this. Like, you guys have the opportunity now to, like, you could be something amazing, or you could be something that really sucks. And like,
paint a picture, baby. Yeah.
Get real bleak for you guys here.
Mr. Chambers, what was that advice about?
I straight up told him today was the last day. My last piece of advice was, hey, nobody likes losers. So there you go.
Don't be a loser.
Hey,
nobody likes losers. Nobody looks up to losers. Nobody admires losers. So you have the option right now to continue to be losers. I told you the same thing, didn't I?
Yeah,
that's succinct advice that they can take with them.
Don't be a loser. It's so easy for so many of them to be losers right now. I'm very worried about this group of people.
Oh yeah,
because
obviously
I see them, but
they're little humans, right? And someday in the future they will realize that they've had to mourn the loss of what you like their senior year. Their senior year isn't normal. Their senior year isn't anything like any of ours, you know.
Nobody else is ever.
Nobody else is ever. So they're all little humans who don't have as much emotional capacity or maturity. They're trying to deal with that, you know. And high school's hard. High school's hard enough, right?
You know what they get to do though? All of them will turn into crotchety old people that are like, when I was in high school, they canceled everything because of a plague. You kids got it easy.
And that'll happen for them when they're like 22. They'll be that way when they're like 22 years old.
real jaded, real early.
Oh, man, they're going to be jaded real quick.
Like, what's their senior prank going to be? Like, pull a car onto the Zoom room? You know what I
mean?
Go
to school in person?
Yeah. Let's all show up and actually study, guys. Let's take the test.
Go to class.
That's a good question. Did you guys ever do like a senior prank? Like, if you did, what did you do?
I did, yeah.
What'd you do?
Wow.
Who wants to go first?
Mikey.
No, somebody else go first. I got to think of it.
Okay,
we did so much stuff.
I got two that I'll start off with. What I personally did was I spray painted the main road when you drove into our school with our graduating class number, like 01 or whatever. I spray painted it very, like, probably the size of a car on like the main road. So for the entire next like 2 years, that shit was that color. Like that shit was that way. I will say this is crazy.
Did you do that alone?
I did it with one other person.
I was like, if you guys didn't like make it the prank, you were just committing a crime.
Yeah.
That's not the senior prank.
This is crazy. This is no joke. These guys did this at my school. This was nuts because I lived in because I'm in Southern California. You live in like you go to high school in like outdoor high schools, like everything's kind of outdoors. And so there was these gates to get into the school, and these guys bought these chickens, but they bought these I can't say the R word, but they bought these special needs chickens. And they bought these dumb chickens at the farm, and they were going to just release them into the school. So everyone would wake up in the morning and get to school, and there'd be these like dumb chickens running around. Well, they were all caught like on these wires, and when they tried to throw them over the fence, like security came, and so they freaked out and panicked. And so all these dumb chickens got like mutilated and caught up without legs, running around the school, bleeding without like legs and like without wings and shit.
What?
And so all these dumb chickens were running around the school. These 3 kids got found out that they were the ones that did it, and they got expelled and stuff. But it was so funny to me that these guys thought these like 12 dumb chickens would be the funniest thing in the world. It ended up screwing up their lives. Like,
my God.
Oh, Jesus.
Boy, that is like a prank gone awry.
Very much so. How do you go to your parents and they're like, "What did you do?" And you're like, "Well, it started with these chickens."
Yeah.
Oh, these chickens, Mom. You know,
you're gonna release the chickens.
So that's what I did. What did you do, Sean?
So as a like exact opposite to what you were saying, I went to high school in Nebraska, and so it was not outside. We very much had like indoors because it gets cold. And I went to a boarding school, so we lived there. For those that don't know what that means, and our dean, who lived like on the same floor as us, one time we stole his key and got into his room and took all of his stuff and all of his furniture and set up his exact room in the shower. Like his TV, the things hanging on the walls, everything. We set up his room in the shower.
How did you get a mounting bracket for the tile?
I don't know what people did.
That's impressive.
Oh, that's too good.
Oh my
Paul,
God, it's
did you
amazing.
do one? Paul?
I had like two. They weren't like really bad, but one, my horticulture class, we were real tight with the teacher, and she was like, "You guys can do whatever you want at the end of the year." So we ended up turning the entire like little park area of our school into a slip and slide, and we just had people coming in. And another one we did was we had a teacher who was big into movies, and he kind of organized this whole get together for X-Men 3 that was coming out in like 2006. So me and a group of my buddies, we dressed up as the X-Men. Like I was Beast, and I like totally dyed myself blue and everything. And we just came into school dressed as the X-Men, and that was kind of like we were given rights to do whatever the fuck we wanted that day. We just walked around the school. I didn't even go to a class that day. It was amazing.
Just wandered around like a mouse.
They were like, "This is impressive." Yeah. And that was
like, you painted yourself blue. You have no class today. I love that.
Or one guy, he was Wolverine with like fucking the claws and everything, and we were like, "Yeah, that's nothing crazy."
And they sent him to the hospital.
Hopefully. What about you, Mike?
Well, thinking about it, I think all the stuff I did was just crimes. Like Sean said, there was
just truancy.
There was two things we did, because there was one. The one we did senior year was we used to like kind of break into the school and steal stuff. So like,
for sure,
we would go in. We would go in and we would like leave a door unlocked, and we'd go in at night and like take all the cookies out of like just eat all these snacks and shit like that were in the thing. But we got, when I used to work at a golf course, so I had the golf cart key that was universal. It was a club car key.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we would break in and drive these golf carts around all the time that the school had. And the one time we finally got into it, and it was like a Mission Impossible kind of thing. We had our buddy up on the bleachers, like looking for cops and shit. He had we had walkie-talkies and stuff. This was before like we had cell phones. So he was like, "All right, you guys are good. You guys are good." Me and my buddy Tom were inside, and he hopped in. I opened up the gate, and he pulled it out. I closed it back down, hopped in the golf cart, and we just joyrode that around on the football field, like into like ditches, and it was raining and stuff. And then we decided to flip it on the 50-yard line. And then they found it the next day, but we never told them about it. Yeah, that's a crime.
That's a crime. That's a crime.
But but they all said it was like a prank kind of thing. Like, "Oh my God, I wonder who did that." But we didn't say anything because we didn't want to get in trouble.
You're gonna get an email from your high school next week.
Yeah,
I'm
happy they're listening.
I remember when that happened, because me and Mike were not in the same grade. He was a year ahead of me, and at this point, I don't think we were like real like close friends or anything at this point. And I remember hearing about that, and people were like, "Who would have done such a thing? What scumbag did this?" And everyone was like, "We don't know. Why would they just take the golf cart and just flip it? Like, what did they do?" And that's what the face of crime looks like right there, Mike Perkins.
Mike Perkins.
Yo, I got in so much trouble when I was a kid. The other thing too, I don't know if Paul, you remember this. I was a sophomore, and we used to hang out at my buddy Greg Moore's house, and he was dating this girl right next door to him, and her parents were never home. So we would just like, I mean, one time we lit her fucking deck on fire.
What the
like
fuck?
Pizza box. It was insane. We would do insane shit. Like I used to like skateboard on her treadmill and stuff. It was awesome. But the one time at her house, we ended up making these chocolate laxative brownies because they had like a chocolate type of laxative. So we made these brownies. We took him into school the next day.
Bro, what the fuck?
God. This is like literally the plot of a teen movie.
It's awesome.
And we started giving him out. And I think by like sixth period, dude, there were so many people in the nurse's room just because they were shitting themselves, you know? Do you remember that, Paul? You had to be a freshman then.
I vaguely recall this. I remember they were like, I think there was something that like the teacher was like, a lot of people are going to the nurse's office. I got the shits. And like, that's kind of all I recall, but that was you.
This guy, baby, this guy. See, that was sophomore year. Because we did so many pranks, we just never told him because we didn't want to get in trouble, but we used to do
Yeah, you would have.
Oh my God, dude.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Ben, did you ever do a prank? A senior prank?
So like I think senior pranks were like I'm a bit younger than you guys, right?
Yeah, so they're kind of
like,
over. They're kind of done.
They were kind of done, and like in my hometown, they were crimes. Like you know, my hometown was you know. I remember being invited to go. We had a crosstown rival football game every year. You know, Tulare Union, Tulare Western. They had one football game every year. It's called the Bell Game. You know, so like I remember being invited to go like egg like Tulare Union's like mascot mural, and I was like, but I don't want to do that. Like,
yeah, I don't want to do that.
I don't want to ruin the picture of the already marginalized human because they're actually they used to be called the Redskins.
Nice.
And they were and they were the first ones to change and like I with the Washington football team, I wish I could tell them. I was like, hey, if Tulare Union can change their name to the Tribe, so can you. I was like,
yeah.
But yeah, no, we had like senior ditch day.
Oh yeah.
And,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
And we did, and we went out and, you know, had some debauchery. We smoked weed and made a homeless guy buy us beer.
One of the most dangerous things about living in San Diego when I was growing up in high school was that Mexico is so close, and I ditched high school so many times, and I went to Mexico. That's what I did. You just went to Mexico, and you didn't go to like your like last two classes, and you went to Tijuana. Like that happened more than once, more than twice. A good 5 or 6 times. The very first time I ever went to Mexico, this is amazing. Very first time I ever went to Mexico, Tijuana. You're so stupid and you're so young and you're so dumb. Yep. And you're just like, oh, I can do it all. And you're like there and you're like, whoa, they really let you do anything. They don't care that you're like not old enough to do anything. And so you're 17 and you're like, I'm just wandering around in Mexico. And you went with like, I went with like 3 other dumb 17-year-olds. And at some point we split up, which is also dumb.
Split up in Mexico.
In Tijuana. And I remember this guy's like, hey, you want to see strippers? And I was like, okay. And I remember going into the strip club and he goes, I got a table for you. And I sit down on this table and it's like in a very dark room. This is at like, 1 p.m. And then he's like, okay. And they give me a Corona. I remember that there was a Corona brought to my table for like $1.50 or something. And then this pregnant chick, this is the first time I was ever at a strip club, pregnant woman comes out on stage and like pregnant, like 8.5 months pregnant, comes out on stage and there's a ring, a chain and a ring on the stage. And she just kind of slowly comes out and just slow turns around like a piece of chicken on a grill. And it is just slowly turning. Like
oh my God.
Like at Fogo de Chao or something. And she's just a piece of sweaty meat and with her baby in there. And she was all drugged out. And I remember sipping my Corona, watching this one song and went, I think I'm good here. I think I've had my time.
I should have stayed in school.
I think I probably could have stayed in poetry class a little longer today.
Well,
I think I should probably go find my friends.
Didn't you say that your valedictorian of your high school had a crazy one?
One of like the guy that was like this genius kid in our high school, like genius kid. like a year or two after high school, was like found, like no one found. He was found burned alive, dead in Mexico,
Oh,
like in an alley. Like just his corpse was like lit on fire.
wait, that's not
Like,
a crazy story. That's just a kid getting murdered.
That's
Yeah,
a
I know.
tragedy. What the
That's
fuck?
another crime.
It's another crime. Senior prank gone wrong.
Oh my god!
I don't know. It's there were so
Just
many
a harmless
weird ones. Like
senior prank.
I remember going down. Like we drove down to like Ensenada one time, and one of my friends just got like so blitzed. And it got crazy drunk. The fact that he's even in this country still is crazy. Throwing up as we're crossing the border, and like you don't realize how stupid we were behaving. And we weren't even that bad. Like that's the crazy thing. I wasn't.
You
like
mean
the
in
bad
comparison,
kid.
it wasn't that bad?
Like in comparison to other kids that I grew up with, like we weren't the bad ones. Like,
Hey, Adam, we got an AK-47. You want to go? You're like, oh no, dude, we're good.
we were somewhere in like we were probably somewhere in the middle. Like there was so many kids doing so many other crazier things and so many other wild things, like burning alive in Mexico.
How did you even get across the border? Like you had passports?
Oh,
at
you
17?
just walk. You just no. If you're you just go park in front of the border and you just walk across the border.
But how do you get back? Don't you need a passport?
No.
You just walked over.
Or at
You
least
just
you
go.
didn't at that time.
At the time, you didn't.
Yeah.
You just take your driver's license and you just bye. See you later.
No shit.
That was
Yeah,
pre
you park
9/11
right at the border.
Oh yeah, I guess
was
it was.
pre
Yeah.
9/11, and you just walk across the border and you come back for the day because Tijuana is right there.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it literally starts like you park at the border and then you just walk across the border, and then it just like is like this like Vegas but Mexico, and it starts right away. And so then you just like walk a handful of blocks and then you're in this like strip of like all these bars and clubs and all this stuff.
No shit.
And you can drink. Like technically, can you drink at 17 there? No. But do they totally
They don't
let
care.
you? For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody gives a
They're
shit.
making money.
Wow.
It's a lot of whistles and a lot of putting shots of bottle in your mouth, and they put a rag on your face like they're putting you to sleep, and they shake the liquor down your face and your throat. Like all that, all that kind of shit happens. You're like 17 years old. It's like a Wednesday.
Get like waterboarded by
Yeah, that's
tequila
a
and shit.
fucking.
Yeah,
Tequila
totally.
waterboard.
I got tequila boarded.
Tequila.
That's
Oh my God.
that's Mexico. That's like a weird thing that you don't realize, like as you grow up, like next to a completely different country, like and you just like don't realize.
We'd go to
the
Iowa
accessibility.
from Nebraska, and they were pretty fucked up.
Yeah, totally.
Like
They did the same
it was
shit.
like walking into hell, really.
Crazy in Iowa.
Yeah, those Council Bluffs motherfuckers.
That's so funny. And it's not the same as like if you lived in like, you know, Seattle, or if you lived in like Seattle or something where you could like, oh, I could get to Canada in a couple of hours. Like Mexico is just so different. It's such a different monster.
Yeah.
See,
It's such a different beast. It's such a different place.
I never skipped school.
I used to skip school. I used to skip school and come to LA.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm only my hometown's only like 2 hours, 2.5 hours when I'm driving. And it's 3 hours normally, 2.5 when I drive. But yeah, I used to ditch class on a Friday and tell my mom I was like staying at a friend's for the night, and then drive to LA and stay with my cousin on her couch and hang out in LA.
Yeah.
Wow.
Vegas was like that. Vegas was kind of like that because Vegas from San Diego is kind of similar to distances like LA, where you would just be like, but you were so young. I was like 17, 18 years old. I had no business in Vegas, but like you would just go. And so you would like go and like sleep in a car and just kind of crash like that vibe, or like do that crazy Vegas thing where you go to Vegas and you're like, I don't need a hotel because I'm just going to stay awake.
Right.
That kind of crazy dance in Vegas.
We had friends go like to Atlantic City when they were like 18, 19. I'm like, you guys know if you win, you're not going to be able to keep that money. You know, they're like, we're just going down to play slot machines, you know, or whatever.
Oh yeah, seriously.
I did that in Vegas. You get caught real quick.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, though you can you can get away with it, but once you hit a jackpot, they need your ID.
Oh,
So-
that's
and if you
true.
just look super young, like you
Yeah.
know what I mean,
Right.
like you just.
And if you're losing money, they let you lose it. Like when I was playing the slot
Yeah.
machine when I was 18, I was losing and no one came by. And it was just like penny slots. But I got up about 28 cents or so and someone tapped on my shoulder.
Whoa, buddy! You're not taking quarters from
she's
this
like,
establishment.
"Guys, your ID. You're clearly lying to us."
Our buddy one time we were 21 at the time, but our buddy didn't bring his ID with him. We go to cash out and they carded him at the cashier's cage and he didn't have his ID on him and they kept his money. And they're like, you got to come back and pick it up. And he's like, what? It was like $140.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, they'll keep it and make you pay for it.
Yeah. So we're like, well, you don't have your ID, so we got to keep it here, but we'll give you a receipt of like whatever. So he had to come back and didn't like the week went down like a week later and he went to pick it up. He's like, let me go pick up my money from Brigada.
We used to no, so it wasn't like a prank or anything, but we used to play this really weird game called Commando. Did you guys ever play this game?
Maybe it has a different name, but
Is that where you don't wear underwear?
Yeah, I was thinking no
exactly.
underwear. Oh, okay.
I'd play Commando whilst
you,
Commando.
You
I'm
learn
playing
about
Commando
yourself
right
if
now.
you wear
What?
new jeans, you know.
No wonder why the camera doesn't go past my nipples right now. But no, so we play this game called Commando. We ditch school to play it, and literally we'd like pick we'd like start from our high school, and we'd pick a destination like across town. Like there was a target like maybe 5 miles away across town, and there was two teams, a chasing group and a running group, and the Commando group, and that group had to like get across town on their feet while an entire other team of maniacs chased them in lifted trucks. And so it was like high school Mad Max flying across, and we would run across the freeway. I was just talking to a friend about it today, because they drove through my hometown, and I was like, that freeway, we used to Frogger that shit. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
Because we were like, we were full bore. And then the fastest way to get across the freeway was to just like take this little shortcut through the bushes next to one of the overpasses. And if you could just gap it right, you'd be across the freeway in 30 seconds rather than 5 minutes at an intersection where the people and the psychos could run you over with their Chevy Tahoe.
What was the point? Like, how would they get you? So
the car would have a bunch of have their own team in it. So the driver, you'd pick who your driver was because that was the sober person most likely. And then everybody would jump out of the car and go try to tag the people running. So like the goal of the chase car is to just get them close to the runners who have had like a 5-minute head start.
I love it. I'm in.
It was imagine Christ. Literally
I'm
imagine
so in.
running
I
across.
Totally would have done that. I would have been for sure. I'd do that right now. Like
over the 405.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Up the fake walls on the 405.
Well, listen, guys, if you're listening to this episode on the highway, watch out for kids. Just running across and, don't kill anyone. And that's another episode of another podcast tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
That is it, baby. With me, as always, our partner in crime, Mr. Paul Brodo.
Thank you for listening, everybody.
Look at that excitement in your voice.
I'm bringing it in.
Freaking out.
He kind of jumped that one, Paul. He hadn't even finished the name yet. But...
the best band in all the land. Give it up for the show with Adam and Sean.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much.
My man, Mr. Ben Rawls, still alive and kicking from running across highways as a kid.
We made it, baby. We made it.
We made it. My name is Mike Perkins. Thanks for listening, guys. That's another episode. Give us 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Check us out on Google. We're on Spotify. I just put us on Stitcher. We're on Stitcher now, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice.
Just put us on Stitcher, another avenue of it.
That sounds like we steal body parts.
Stitcher. We stitching them up. We Stitcher. That was me in high school because I committed a lot of crimes. I realized. It's just Stitcher.
I mean,
and thanks so much, guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Another late night comedy show.